Perhaps did he have a nephew or great-nephew named Carl, whose last name wasn't Sanderson? In your previous comment, you asked if it was Carl Sanders. Colonel Sanders had one brother and one sister. His sister was Catherine Sanders, and his brother was Clarence Sanders. I come from Clarence. Clarence had 2 children. They were both boys, Jim Sanders and Charles Sanders. And Jim adopted a son named Donovan Howard. He passed away, as well as his mother, Pauline, who was Jim's wife. He was born in September of 1917 and died in 1989 in November. Charles was born in the 1920s, and he died in the 1990s. He had 3 daughters and 1 son. 2 of his daughters has passed away. Now, since Jim and Charles were his nephews on Clarence's side, that makes any of their children biologically a great-nephew or niece to the Colonel. So Charles's 3 daughters would be his great-nieces, and his son would be his great-nephew, who would be my grandfather, Ed. My grandfather had 2 sons who would be the great-great-nephews, and their names are not Carl. And then you have my generation, which I am a great-great-great-nephew. My sisters are great-great-great-nieces, and my oldest sister's newborn son is a great-great-great-great-nephew. His name is also not Carl. Donovan would be the step-great-nephew. Now, my grandpa Charles's 2 daughters that have passed away, they did have children of their own, at least one of them did, and I don't recall their name being Carl. They are still alive today, and I could find out what their name is, but I don't ever remember a Carl. But their child would be a 2 great niece or nephew. Now let's go over to the Colonel's sister, Catherine Sanders, who became Catherine Cummings. She had 2 children. Violet Lou Cummings was her daughter, and Aaron Lee Cummings was her son. This would make them niece and nephew to the Colonel. Now, Violet Lou Cummings has had a whole family through Harold Homer and their family as well that now have Homer Hot Sauce Company. I can't tell you any of their names. My cousin Katie probably could, because she is kin to Lee, but she has told me the names. I just don't remember them, but I would have remembered Carl. I'll have her confirm that, but their last name would be Omer or something different, not Sanders. And when it comes to Lee, he had 1 son and 1 daughter. His son has passed away. His son had 2 sons and a daughter. His daughter passed away. Lee Cummings' daughter and son would be great-niece and great-nephew. Their children would be great-great-nieces and nephew. And their children would be 3 great-nieces and nephews. And I do not recall a Carl in that lineage either.